Good day and welcome to the dining table. At the White House press briefing, they reported on a new COVID vaccine and the public outreach. Please subscribe, like, and share. Let's hear from the press secretary.
Believe that we are in a better position than we've ever been to combat COVID-19. And that's because of the work that the president has done. You heard from FDA, you heard from CDC, who've said that there's going to be new vaccine that's going to be available mid-September. And look, because of the work that this administration has done with the leadership of this president, we have been able to put together a comprehensive way to deal with this pandemic, to deal with COVID 19. And we have put forth multiple tools to do that. And the vaccine clearly is one of that. As it relates to what the president said, I just don't have anything to add at this time.
On that new vaccine that's going to be available mid-September, the CDC data says that only 56 million Americans, 17% of the population, received the updated shot last year. What type of public messaging campaign or effort will the administration and the White House be doing starting in mid-September to get people to get that shot, to get more people than last year to get that shot?
As you know, Karen, this is an issue that you have followed very closely for the past 2 years. And you have known that this administration, when it comes to informing the American people about these vaccines, about the different tools that this president and this administration has put forward, we have really put informing Americans as a priority. And so we'll continue to do that. We know that COVID-19 vaccinations are the safest protection for avoiding hospitalization, long-term health outcomes, and death. And that is why we are going to continue to encourage Americans to stay up to date on their vaccines. And so you'll hear more from us on that. And as you know, that is something when it comes to informing Americans, American families about about the vaccine. We certainly have been really something that we put at the forefront as we move forward with our comprehensive approach to dealing with this pandemic. I would also refer you to the HHS on anything more specifics on this new vaccine. Go ahead, Nari.
Thank you. Question on foreign policy. Israel Foreign Minister revealed that he met with his Libyan counterpart, which led to her firing and demonstrations and protests. Does this complicate the administration efforts in expanding on the Abraham Accords and kill any chance of normalization now between Israel and Libya? It was reported that the administration is angry at the Israeli leak of the story.
So on that particular question, I would have to refer you to the Libyan government of national unity and the government of Israel. That's where I would have to refer you on that particular question. I just don't have anything else to share on that.
Brown went to Libya and he met with the prime minister and he encouraged him apparently to approach Israel for this potential relationship. So the administration has an interest in this.
No, I understand the question. On any conversation or meeting, I would have to refer you to the respective governments.
Given what you've said so far about the president's preparing for COVID and being ready for any sort of fall surge, and what the president said today at the middle school, does the administration believe that all of the resources are in place, that they're adequate, should there be a case uptick that maybe is concerning to some districts and they maybe consider whether or not to leave kids in the classroom?
So a couple of things. I've talked about the historic progress that our administration has made in the ability to manage COVID-19, so that it's no longer a meaningful disruption to the way that we move in our day-to-day life, right? So that is something that the president has taken seriously. We believe we are in the strongest position yet. To deal with COVID-19, as I've said multiple times at this point, and anything that we might see in the fall or in the winter. And that's because safe and updated vaccines that will be available in mid-September, widely available at-home COVID tests, right? I talked about the different tools that this administration has been able to put forward, widely available effective treatments, which can reduce the risk of severe illness, hospitalization, and death. And we are also going to encourage Americans to get their updated COVID-19 vaccine in addition to their annual flu shot. Let's not forget that is important for Americans to get, and an RSV immunization for people over 60 and for infants. That is something that we're going to continue to make very clear to Americans across the country. As it relates to any uptick nationally, while the CDC is reporting an increase in infections and hospital admissions overall remains low. But again, we believe that we are in a good position, in the strongest position that we have been in the past 3 years or so to deal with COVID-19. There's going to be an updated vaccine in mid-September. We're going to continue to encourage Americans to get their updated vaccine, to stay updated on their vaccines more broadly, but also to make sure they get the RSV and also to make sure that they're getting the flu shot.
I guess specifically, though, is there a message to school districts as kids are back in school now? And, it's not just COVID, as you mentioned, there are a lot of things that can make kids, sick this time of year.
I mean, that's why I mentioned the RSV. That's why I mentioned the flu, right? All of those things are important for Americans to stay updated on. So as kids returns to school, to your point, CDC continues to recommend that people are up to date, again, on their COVID-19 vaccines. The agency has also laid out a number of steps people can take to keep themselves and their loved ones safe. If folks go to cdc.gov, it's important. If Americans or their families across the country have any concerns, any questions, they should go to cdc.gov, and they'll lay out ways to protect their loved ones, to protect their kids. Decisions is at the district level, as you all know, when it comes to any decisions on what tools they're going to use, whether it's masking or whatever, however they're going to move forward. That is something that's decided on a local level. But again, the CDC has laid out ways for for schools and families to move forward if they have concerns. But again, we are going to continue to encourage folks to be updated on their vaccine, the RSV, let's not forget, make sure they get that, and also the flu vaccine. All of those things are incredibly important as we head into the fall and winter months to keep our loved ones safe.
So there you have it. The White House is announcing a new COVID vaccine and their public outreach. Please subscribe, like, and share. Peace.